Hello and welcome to one and all. You are now about to watch a moment in time of Man Cave Poetry Days, Poetry of Life, readings from the Man Cave. As these poems are written by me, they are reflections, thoughts or experiences of life and its funny ways. The titles speak for themselves.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the summer edition, and it's Christmas time. So we'll call it the summer edition Christmas time Man Cave Poetry Days. And for something different this week, I've written a little story. So instead of 3 poems, I'm going to read you a little story I wrote. And it's called One White Christmas. See if you can pick up on who it is. Right, so hope you're all well. Hope you've finished for the year, some of you. Some will still be working, like myself. Got a couple more days before I knock off, so looking forward to a few days off over Christmas. So I hope you all are, and I hope you will all be with your families. So, the little story I'm going to read you tonight is One White Christmas. And it goes something like this. This is a tale, nay, a story, I was told long ago. It's about a certain jolly old man and his wife, who lived way up north, over the hills and far away, in a place no one could find. He was a busy man. He had a small farm with a few reindeer and a small toy factory on his property. Their only visitor was a lone postman who would turn up once a week with a bag full of mail, and his wife would make tea and they would chat about life. As it was coming up to the end of the year, he would tell Pat about all the places he had to visit and the many miles he would have to travel. It was his busy time of the year delivering toys. Now, this particular year, there came a very harsh winter. The snow was relentless, so much as his factory lost power, and his 7 workers, who boarded with Mrs. White in the forest, were unable to get to work. He knew the orders were piling up, and Pat hadn't been able to bring the mail. It was getting dire. At his wit's end, he was wondering what to do. He needed a plan. So this particular morning, he remembered about his old generator in the shed out the back. He had to do something. So out to the barn he went, hooked up the 2 reindeer, Dasher and Comet, as they were the fastest. Got the sleigh ready. Luckily, he had cell phone reception, so he rang one of his workers named Doc, as he was the smartest of the 7. So they had to get to Jack's house, a short distance away. So off they went to get the parts. On their way back, they met the wise old owl, who mentioned that the weather was going to get better, which was a relief. On their return, old MacDonald, who had the neighbouring farm, had heard of the dilemma and came over to help. Now, after a bit of tinkering and banging around, they finally managed to get the generator going. What a relief. Power was on. With that, the call went out to the rest of the workers. Work tomorrow, 7 sharp. So tomorrow came. The factory was in full swing. The orders were getting filled. There was a nice calm about the place. It was coming up to that special night. Pat had delivered the last of the mail. It was all set. The workers had pulled it off, so Mrs. Claus made them all a great tea before they waved him goodbye, as the 9 reindeer and a sleigh full of presents, driven by Santa, sped off into the distance to deliver all those Christmas wishes and bring joy to the world. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope he's coming to your place. I hope you like that little story. But we're still going to do a bit of music appreciation, because I know there's a few people out there who love this little bit. So, last week I gave you a line from a really cool old song by a Canadian rock band formed in Winnipeg in 1973 by two brothers and their mate. Now, their 1970 catalogue included 7 top 40 albums in Canada, 5 in the US, and 11 top 40 singles. They've sold actually over 30 million albums, this band has. Now, in Canada, they have 6 certified platinum albums and 1 certified gold. In the US, they have 5 certified gold albums and 1 certified platinum album. And they were inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame in 2014. Now, the line I gave you was, I met a devil woman, she took my heart away. And that comes from a great song called You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, by, of course, Bachman Turner Overdrive, or to people my age, BTO. And that came off their brilliant album, which is called Not Fragile, and I think every song on that album was a hit. To me, anyway. It was a really great album. But this week, we're delving into let's say it's called a British-American rock band formed in London in 1970 by 3 blokes who were actually sons of US Air Force personnel stationed in London, and that's where they began performing live. Now, between 1972 and 2015, they've produced 18 studio albums, and they've had numerous Billboard Top 40 hits. Like, this band has put out many a really cool song, and if I told you some of them, you could still hear them playing. Their 1975 album, History, went multi-platinum, and that was like their best of. They received a Grammy Award for Best New Artist. They were inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2006, and they actually received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2012. Like, their string of albums, their accolades, their awards are endless. They are probably one of the greatest bands of their era. Now, the line I'm going to give you tonight is, where the days are longer, the nights are stronger than moonshine. Of course you can hear that, can't you? I'll give it to you again. Where the days are longer, the nights are stronger than moonshine. Comes from a great song. So have a think about it. Oh, here she is. Hello, Mrs. Producer. Yes, yes, I know you know this one. Yes, you've got the CD too. Yes, we still play it in the car. Yep, yeah, we're still old school, eh? We don't have these Bluetooth blah-blahs. We play CDs. Yes, we do. Yes, that is the song. Yes, they should all get this one. Well, all probably around our age. Maybe. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. Ciao. Of course she got it. This is one of her favourite bands. So, think about it. Have a listen to your mind. See what you come up with. Let me know. Drop me a line in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button. And please subscribe. We're slowly climbing in our subscribers. So, yeah, cool. So have a good Christmas. We will be putting on another one next week, but we're going to go and do a bit of reflection of the year and probably pop in some old poems, some of my favourites of the year, for a couple of weeks over Christmas. So have a great one. see you next Sunday, and Merry Christmas. So it's good night from the man cave, and it's good night from me. Well, it's good afternoon, really. Bye.